Draft number 4 for game number 4 between Superstars and B-Step is underway. Now, B-Step did pick Sky Temple. It is a battleground that is probably their most picked. However, they have only been able to defeat No Tomorrow here. They have lost to both Gale Force Esports and to Team 8 in picking Sky.
So where do they go? Do they deny the Diablo here? The Zeratul onto the other side. They've been prioritizing it. B-Step here has to make a choice, or do they move into the Varian or consider maybe, you know, the Falstad, the backliner here? It's really, you know, their choice in whatever the comfort they feel to go with the Tychus. So not looking towards either one of the Warriors. So will Superstars look to be able to pick it up for themselves?
Diablo,
I would expect so. Yeah.
Or Varian?
I think the Diablo. I don't know, actually. Maybe looking to be able to pick up the Varian makes the most sense because it's a deny. If you take the Diablo, then you would have to ban the Varian if you're afraid of it in the next ban phase, then losing a ban. So, you know, a little bit of synergy with kill potential, but then also between Varian and Zeratul. But then also freeing up a ban if it, you know, if that's going to be the fear for them. So maybe that is going to be the smarter play. Other than that, I would love a Falstad. It's unlikely that we'll see Superstars be able to pick it this high. More likely out of them, maybe. I would say normally Vala, but the fact that they have Nightmare, they've not really picked that hero.
Well, they did the first game, and Hosty played her. But here's Falstad Rhaegar. So a global, Falstad Zeratul, these big growth abilities. Not sure yet who will be playing. Well, probably almost certainly Hosty will play that Falstad since that is his hero. But we just don't know for sure since we're still learning about Nightmare.
B-Step now not having the opportunity to ban out the support because the Rhaegar there for Superstars. Where do they want to move into the draft? Which frontliner do they want? Who are they afraid of on the backline of their opponents? Those are the questions they have to ask. I'm guessing it's a ban on Diablo. That is my first thought. But the amount of time that we see B-Step taking alone already makes me think that that can't be it. They were going a different route.
They have been taking a while with pick spans, etc. Just in general, like that task ban, they went the full time anyway. Almost like they just want to consider all options and are even using that time to sort of talk ahead about what they think is going to happen with Superstars, and then we can go from there. Varian ends up being the ban for B-Step, so probably then Diablo is what B-Step want.
I mean, I'm guessing that's what we see today.
Yeah.
All right. It's weird. It's like legitimately almost feels like with B-Step looking at their drafts that every day they have a different idea, right? So we saw last time it was the picks. Now it's like, well, Diablo is the bee's knees, that we feel like we can be very successful with him.
What do Superstars want to ban versus B-Step?
Well, Superstars now, okay, getting rid of the Dahaka, I think that makes the most amount of sense, again, when you have the global, being able to choke into the globals. It does hurt in the fact that Superstars is yet to be able to draft a front or a solo, which is not as common on Sky Temple, but picking into the Zeratul means he will be a part of rotations, and it's very unlikely that we see that triple melee. It's just not overly dominant in North America, but they could move in that direction. Either way, they are going to struggle a little bit when it comes to a solo if B-Step picks a convincing one.
Superstars were one of the teams who were actually running triple melee the most in all of HGC NA, but have backed off from it a lot.
It was them and Freedom early on. We're like, you know, frontline on frontline, and then suddenly it seems like everybody's kind of taken a step back to the backline. Get it?
I don't want to.
That was the most harsh to a bad joke response I think I've gotten yet out of you. Either way,
they will continue.
B-Step, where are they going to move with this pick? They go with the Diablo. What else? It's going to be a Li Ming here. So the Li Ming with the Diablo. I wonder the spike in Diablo value for B-Step here. Obviously, he's still scary. He does a lot of things right. Malfurion roots directly after the Overpower is an option. Li Ming follow-up is huge onto Diablo combos. If you can expect the Overpower being able to be at max range for the Orb and missiles, you can almost one-shot a Squishy.
This almost makes me think that the melee we get from B-Step will be K1 Pro. because this is kind of the instance where
Tyrael?
it's happened before. Yeah.
Is that it? They move into a Tyrael?
Well, Ket's one that K1 Pro's played before, but he's also shown Thrall too, and Ragnaros, but Ragnaros is banned out, so it won't be that. Be very surprising if we saw him all the way to the last picks. Superstars now, Srey. Is he gonna pick Johanna?
He's got ETC at his disposal. He's gonna stage dive it up. It's Sky
Or
Temple.
Muradin.
I believe in the ETC. Hey, and Medivh is gonna be locked in here for Superstars. Double global, having the Zeratul. The Medivh didn't have as much of an impact in the last game though, compared to what we saw on the Towers of Doom matchup. Nightmare didn't have as big of an influence. We aren't seeing as big of damage numbers out of him either. But they keep sticking to it, so I'm questioning if that is a hero pool thing or a general philosophy of Superstars. They truly feel that the Medivh, is the way to go.
It might be a situation of a little of both, right? Where they come in, they say, okay, well, we have to play with the sub. What can you play? What are we going to do? We've only really been practicing this strategy, so we're just going to try to keep executing on that. But that was let through for B-Step.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Here we
Another Valera.
go. Valera is the choice. Diablo overpower into root into Valera, or, it can be the other way around. Either way, a lot of kill and assassination potential now available for B-Step in this draft. With the Li Ming, Valera is a beautiful setup to Li Ming. Just the raw damage that Valera has, opening with the stun, and then the minute you see that happen, Li Ming throws out the combo. Those two alone have a lot of pick potential. There's a lot of cool assassination tools for B-Step. The question is, do they have the execution to be able to get away with that? And is Medivh going to be successful enough as, that peeler, I guess, the savior of those kind of initiations in this game?
Yeah, Force of Will is going to be very important for Superstars. So will the Cleanse from Iacona be, making sure that they can save whoever that target is. Ancestral Healing as well. Should they be able to withstand that initial poke, then maybe they will find Valera in a bad place, and that's the time that they can strike. But it does seem like, especially because they have Void and Gust, that it is something that Superstars can do.
Yeah, it's just... it's interesting. Again, Valera sits at that weird middle ground of we've seen her be able to get picks, yes, but other times she looks a little bit lackluster. So where's going to be able to fall out? I do expect this game to be pretty high impact on the side of B-Step. I think it fits what they're most comfortable with. They just love killing things, and they have a comp that's very comfortable making that happen. On the other side of the coin, though, is Superstars with, again, sitting with a very Superstars-focused draft. They do have Falstead to be able to focus on macro. And so as long as I think they just don't get caught out, I think Superstars is the better team and we'll be able to pull ahead. But this is a pretty cool draft.
Well, that was an amazing setup, Dread. So why don't we just head right into game number 4 and see who will take it.
iDream, in fact, is going to be the one there. On to the Valera here for B-Step. See what it goes when it comes to talents. Everybody else, they're doing the norm. It is Srey on the ETC in this game, so I expect it to be a stage dive. Is there an argument for Mosh? Maybe a little bit. But he's so comfortable. Johanna and ETC with stage dive. Those are the two trademark Srey, warrior choices, I guess. Even when they were not popular, he very much felt comfortable with them.
Speaking of trademark, Falstad will be played by Hosty, keeping Nightmare on his Medivh. Hosty's gonna fly up. Does have Season Marksman, so not looking for the Gathering Storm stacks out of whoever runs into the eye over that ever lasting battle that happens over the Watchtower on Sky Temple. Instead, he's going to be sitting probably down in the bottom lane as Falstad and looking to continue on for the stacks.
See iDream and Goku both sitting in stealth, questioning who can get the engagement onto the other. This just in, Goku definitely wins that. Valera has no opportunity to be able to reveal anybody from stealth, whereas Goku has 2 spells that can do that. So if both are going to be stealth, that leaves Goku to always be a follow-up answer to if Valera looks for the initiation. But for now, as we can see, patient Goku hiding in that shrub up above, trying to get the soak, while the teams figure out what is the most optimal lane matchup for them. Iacona, I promise you, is thinking, this is not it for me.
In a shrub, up above, sits the Zeratul.
Oh man, that totem, that was very scary there. Without that level 1, I was like, that's gonna be one dead pupper. But no, he lives another day. with the totem increase range at 1. Portal is going to be laid, or just to, put fear into, the eyes of B-Step for now. Shrine's going to be up here in 5 seconds. See which team pulls ahead. I expect it to be B-Step here. With Li Ming, Valera on, as long as they're grouped together, they have so much kill potential.
It's crippling poison again for
Yes.
iDream and Valera. Here is level 3 for both the teams. We'll see how they're going to trade out over the temples. But Falstad has been caught. Nightmare's there with a portal and a Force of Will. Hosty gets away. And all of this time, the temples have been running, at least the one in the top. So Superstars have a nice advantage in that they not only saved Falstad so we can move to the bottom lane and be the soak there, but are sitting up in the top.
APM.
So Icona has been hit, almost got hit by a root, but it was just a bait. APM's in a bad spot. Goku jumps right back in for the kill. And we'll get it.
Yeah, and this is going to lead to, if these shots are captured fast enough, which it doesn't look like they're going to be, a moment where Superstars actually could transfer from top to go into mid and be able to capitalize on B-Step's lack of a member. But in fact, they took so long to be able to confirm that kill that Superstars and B-Step seem to be going even here. Obviously, the kill for Superstars, small lead, but the experience here still resides with B-Step.
Crippling poison and now wound poison. It's Piano Valera.
Is that what we're calling that? That the piano? We've only had one other piano, I think, in all of competitive, right? Just Uther?
There was a time when Brightwing had a lot of activated rolls.
There was a piano Brightwing. That's a good call. Yeah, so yeah, it does. Piano Valera for now is going to be the choice going into potions on potions. Crippling poison, and then as you said, wound poison there.
Maybe hoping again, like we saw, we don't know about Palm, but definitely trying to reduce out Ancestral healing.
Yeah, no, it is really going to hurt, even if you just bait the Ancestral. The lack of value that it's going to be able to get there is huge. It just hurts for overall team fighting. When it comes to outside of stealth, it increases kill potential, but hurts when it comes to everything else. So we'll see if B7 and iDream there on the Valera are going to be able to make the play. Stun comes out. Good Medivh shield again from Nightmare. As Falstad is just soaking his way up on top. We do see this 5-man transition for B-Step. Not something that I would say they typically do onto this map, so already showing some improvement from them on, this in-between phase 1 and 2, transitioning all 5 to bottom, getting that pressure, and then considering backing up, going to their Knights later on. Very well done.
Hosty put a ton of damage onto that top 4, especially because the Superstars prioritized getting the top temple, and now they can go after their bruisers and keep Falstad up here in the top, which may prompt B-Step to have to do the same as we start to get into the bottom temple phase.
Another Q build on Valera is what we're going to see here, going with the bonus damage on isolation for the Q.
Maybe for Falstad.
It's maybe for the split soaking on Falstad. It's a risky trade. So the reason why it is a little bit scarier than some of the other heroes is I wish I've seen Valera in every instance. I'm pretty confident. So when she opens onto Falstad in that split soaking, if that's the thought process behind it, that Falstad, if he opens with W with the level 4, having the shield, will allow him to be in a position to where even if she pops her smoke bomb, she'll still be hit over and over by that. And he'll get the shields and be comfortable in that trade matchup. So I can't help but feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's enough damage output, but if the answer is responding to Falstad, I am a little bit afraid. Speaking of that, though, Valera is going to be able to catch Falstad up here. Oh, not yet going to be able to get the open there, as Hosty has made his flight down towards bottom. And Superstars controlled half these shots, looking like they're going to be able to get much more.
Nightmare didn't take Dust of Appearance. He still went with increased vision range. Here comes iDream. He's jumped on top of iDream, but in the bottom is Hosty. He's going to throw out his Hammering. The team is fairly separated. Hosty has his barrel roll and does go over the wall. So he gets out, and Superstar have made it through the first attack of B-Step with their Valera. Still nobody even close to heroic abilities as the temple has taken over by B-Step.
Yeah, it looks like Superstars is going to forfeit the rest of these shots. B-Step might consider grouping and applying pressure towards the bottom since it's already so close to death here. Looks like that might be the choice for now. 9 has been picked up, so Superstars' small advantage and experience in this top 4 is definitely going to be able to conclude that lead a little bit more. Oh, they might even be able to punish here on bottom now with that close to 10. If Nightmare throws a portal over the wall, it looks like that is what Superstar is going to be able to do as the flank comes down from Saray on the ETC. Power slide goes down. Cap Gonna get caught out. K1 Pro as well. Cleanse is gonna be used onto him. The stun is there. Now Iacona is the focus. He goes to the portal. Can't get it there. iDream with the blades. Gets the kill and the experience advantage.
Just barely, but BStep almost have heroic abilities and want to try to take down this fort as they get them. A lot of the members of BStep are low. Goku realizes that and jumps on top of APM, jumping once back in once again. There's heroic abilities on either side as Valkyrian goes down. Apocalypse been used, but King Caffeine is low. He's going to be the next one to fall. Gus pushes away the minions.
Oh, the portal void play by Goku to confirm another kill. Very, very well done by him.
That was a nuts fight. The fact that both of the heroic abilities came up at the exact same time in the middle of the fight.
He mosh pit. This is like a whole new superstar. Soraya isn't even stage diving anymore. They just are moshing. They're going to be able to take this boss too. Nobody on the side of BStep has the opportunity to say anything else about it. But he even that's not saying that, okay, just so everybody knows, that's not saying that Soraya never mosh pits before. Like, he definitely does. But like I said, even when stage dive wasn't in the meta, he's like, ETC stage dive on Sky Temple, that's a strat. It's good. It's really awesome. And with it being so dominant for so long, it's just really surprising to see him pull away from that. That being said, he has a false set on his team, so that might be why he's pulling away from it. But still, it just, you know, another thing that kind of alludes to, you know, is this a new, are the superstars truly becoming the superstars?
I cannot believe that Kona held his heroic, I mean, I guess he was dead, but he's just held it throughout.
He's going to wait until the bloodbath begins. I'm pretty confident he's going to hit Control 1 when that happens.
Be Bloodlust? You think it'll still be Ancestral?
That's Ancestral. It will be Ancestral. Actually, you want to know a really weird trend with supports in Heroes when it comes to the numbering of what heroic they're going to go? Most of the time for supports, the support is 1, and then 2 is always the utility. So anytime if you're ever a support and you're like, oh, what do I do? I don't really know. Overall, the general rule is if you want to support, hit Control 1. If you want to, you know, do something defensive or utility-based, hit 2. You've got, it's like, that's the way for Palm, Blink Heal, Rhaegar's Ancestral, Divine Shield. I can't even think of any. Medevac. There's everything.
Although there's no heal.
Yeah,
it's a save.
Yeah, kinda. Either way, it's just you know, it's a small little thing there that I always noted. It saved my life in a couple scenarios too. So shots though have been traded. Almost perfect trade across the board. No team wanting to test the other. This mid is eating a lot of damage, but no mule available. So eventually that puffer will end up going down for Superstars. 13 for both teams going to be picked up in a matter of seconds. Structurally, though, BStep has managed to be able to pull ahead, but not by much. Those forts are very low in HP.
They are, and all of Superstars are trying as much as they can to keep the lanes pushed so that they can get those kills. Starting to group up in mid to take out that mid fort, and then Zeratil's in the bottom as well to take out Giants. And that'll be the fort in mid going down. Bruiser stolen by BStep. Looking at 13 talents, Death from Above, adding to Assassination for Valera, Assassinate. Calamity build in the rhythm.
Anytime we see that 7, I pretty much think that 13 is a must at that point. Moving into that damage, because if you're going to focus on getting the increased damage of 5 range, you have to have the mobility. It's unrealistic to be able to expect anything otherwise. Because if you are, you know, again, opening without your crowd control, you need to make sure that you get the engage the exact second that you want to. Other than that, though, builds across the board are relatively normal.
Yeah, we know what Kona wants at 13, but he's still holding off on his heroic ability.
You know, that's exactly what you got to do. I watched this happen once in a stream one time where a guy did this, but he didn't intentionally do it. I think that's why it's so much different, you know? I've had that game where my guy in Hero League is just like, what if I don't pick downs anymore? But never, it's just only Iacona will be like, you know what, I don't even need a 13. You know what makes that a little bit harder too? That means he has to memorize every 13 talents here, because if he waits this long and he gets in a team fight, he has to snap pick Ancestral. He has to memorize the one directly after that too and make sure he hits it perfectly.
Dread, I've seen him not pick Transcendence when that was the only thing you pick on Karzim until like level 7 on old school Karzim. He probably has them all memorized, is what I'm saying.
I've just never thought about it. You know, I've taken some time where I'm like, oh, this is situational. He ends up committing. We made it to 15. It's time to choose a heroic, and it was going to be the Ancestral.
All right, 5v5 fight imminent. So you say that word. There's only one temple.
Imminent. It's like Nemo and
And then me.
and then an eminent. Flight did happen towards mid, so that is going to leave a Zeratul all by himself. Didn't use Void. Ancestral was used though.
Stray has a portal to get out of. This temple is about halfway done, has been controlled by B-Step. Superstars, if they want to fight, they're not going to get 16 before it, but they don't have Ancestral now. So are they willing to give it up completely? Cat's going to throw ETC down in the middle of APOC. That Force of Will was beautiful. Here comes the mosh pit. It's on 2. It gets stalled out immediately, though, and ETC gets taken out of Twilight Dream to follow, and Superstars will back away with the ley line seal to zone.
Everybody sitting there halfway through their step animation, frozen through time. But I didn't realize that actually on this patch that the power slide continues through the Void Prison. So a bit of a power play we have to look out to, making opening with Void a little bit more appealing. It's actually a kind of hit or miss thing on the mechanic between Void and power slide. Like half of the patches, it works perfectly. Other half of the patches, you power slide and then you drop Void and you just stand still. So the fact that that was continued on this current patch, Superstars here being able to maybe get an amazing engagement. That last one might not necessarily be it, but it is a terrifying combo that's existed since the beginning of time, especially on patches where it does work.
16 is almost here for Superstars. However, Master's Touch is only halfway done. Season Marksman is almost complete. We talk so much about Master's Touch because it is such a big deal for Medivh. In your playstyle, in your damage, being able to finish that quest talent. It was quite far into the last game to be able to finish that. And at this point, being down the structures, the way that Superstars have, they've taken a little more damage at their keep structures, but they haven't lost any keeps yet. There is a possibility that Superstars are just going to have to get that full engage without finishing those stacks.
Yeah, I'll say it should be noted, you know, we talked a little bit about Nightmare, and obviously being able to fill for the team, it's got to be a tough position for him to be able to figure everything out, everything on the side of Superstars. But not only has Superstars made the changes, the adjustments, and all the positive things that we've referenced towards, they're even 2-1 in the series against B-Step with Nightmare. It's it's absolutely crazy to be able to see that from them. But this is the moment. Some team is going to pull far ahead of their opponents. Only one Shrine is going to last here in 15 seconds. 16 to 17, B-Step a small advantage here. But they're going to be able to get the free clear on the Knights, which is going to force a pretty tough and slow rotation out of Superstars. So B-Step only furthering the lead. The question is, can they get a pick that they're looking for? Goku and Sray. Power slide onto iDream. Portal's going to be there to be able to escort him directly out.
The temple in mid started for Superstars, but B-Step want to go for the fight. Instead, it's going to be an overpower and a push into the team, which prompts out both Void Prison and the Gust from Hosty. That is a mosh pit that does not find its mark. Zeratul's going to go down. Stray is in trouble now, trying to run away. All of the members of Superstars just trying to back off at this point. They will lose Medivh. They will lose Medivh, which is frustrating. He didn't use Leyline Seal either, but yeah, the Void Prison and the Mosh, Stray getting caught. Just a frustrating turn of events for Superstars, but a great setup and start to the fight for B-Step.
Who wins, Laser or Zeratul in a 1v1? Because I think we just witnessed the answer. In fact, the Laser there ripping through Goku was enough to be able to make it to where Ancestral had to be used on Stray out of position into the Void, and then Goku had no healing left to be able to keep him up. Boss is going to be captured. Stray getting a couple of shots on mid, you know, trying to minimize the loss. But overall, big momentum swing now for B-Step here in this series.
So now Superstars, plagued with a boss and 2 temples, have to make some tough decisions. They're going to put Falstad in the bottom to defend, just try to soak the lanes as they can. The mid keep is dropping in health from this temple and will, in fact, go down, so there's plenty of shots left there. And with the bottom keep being the next to hit, Superstars want to take out the boss as fast as they can and then try to fight over that temple, knowing the fact that that's where it's going to start to siege. Yeah,
and here come the shots here. APM is capturing them alone for now. Tychus and Li Ming seem to be making the rotation down. 20 is not available yet, so Superstars, they've got a moment to be able to come back a little bit. And it looks like B-Step is not going to give them the opportunity here as they full retreat here, looking for 20. Superstars without boss up means they are not going to be able to get a moment to be able to turn this game.
Hosty.
The shields. Oh, the barrel roll directly enforcing the cleanse and the gust as well. McIntyre, though, in a tough spot. Will they be able to keep him up? APOC hits a lot of members. Iacona barely staying alive. The Twilight Dream, though, on to Falset. He goes down, and everything crumbling here for Superstars. Yes, you've got a dance party, but you're going to have to dance your butt on out of here because everybody is dying for Superstars.
Nightmare portals out into the range of Draken Laser Drill. He's going to be chased. Can he mount up in time?
He can portal again. He can W on himself when the nade comes out. There it is. Now he portals. Now he mounts. And he's fine. So that was actually a pretty big win. That was game if they hadn't chased the Medivh there. But the fact that they chased the Medivh actually might have been enough time to buy them, or not lose the game at least yet. Not having Void is a huge struggle. Pressure on bottom they realize is going to happen. They're moving in towards the core. iDream was revealed already. Cap is going to start. So if Goku now flanks the backline when they move in, they actually have a chance to be able to stop this. It's not a big one, but it does exist. Gust is up in 5 seconds. They don't have this yet.
There is no Void Prism, but there will be a Gust. Apocalypse is going to go down. Nightmare stays alive through it. Here comes the Gust. He's trying to get to a position where he can push all of them. Okay, so he pushes all of them. K1 Pro is going to jump back on top of Goku. Does not go down. K1 Pro throws out damage, but Beast Up are realizing that they have to get out of here. Iacona, that huge totem, slows down members. 4 people for Beast Up. The core is at 50%, but somehow Superstars are staying alive. King Caffeine is being bursted down by the core and Hosty. Beast Up have to run out of here while they can.
They have to be able to retreat. There's going to be another big totem and Q from Hosty as well. Nobody on the side of them, or of the Superstars, can die. 9 seconds before Void Prison comes up. Ray is now there to join the fight. Cleanse is going to be used onto by Iacona. McIntyre might lose his life. Hosty wins the trade. 46% on the core. The shield's restoring. Twilight Dream used. APM's trying to solo Ray, and he still survived. There's going to be a 3-man Gust. Now APM's all alone.
He's all alone, but the Void Prison's done. All of it. Everybody's going to jump back up. K1 Pro saves the APM.
And now the shots on the bottom still available here. Boss is not going to be spawning for a couple more seconds into this game. They have a moment here, a minute 50 on that boss. 42 seconds here while they have, Tyke is dead. We'll see if they go in. There's going to be the flank. The Gust is going to use King Caffeine by himself, but he has Apocalypse up still.
There's a ley line. He's going to dive in. There's the dive from Goku and Stray. Stray goes for a mosh pit. It's on APM. APM is not going to get out of here alive. That's another kill for Superstars. They're staying alive.
No boss available. I keep thinking about the boss because that's the main win condition. Superstars can't risk the trades at any point into this game. Cap is going to casually back. Don't mind me. I'm going home. And
the Lord of Terror takes his leave.
He made it out. Shots now going to be captured here for Superstars. But again, with a core as vulnerable as theirs, it's not like much is going to be able to make happen. What Superstars needs to do to be able to come back in this game is not let B-Step free move up to the other side of the map. They have 30 seconds to apply so much pressure that they can move through bottom and force B-Step's movements. Then wait until the next shrines, then take the fight again to them. Any fight they take as the map, if you draw halfway through the map, line. If the fight happens anywhere on the right side of the map, it is a bad fight for Superstars across the board. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. It's so close to the core, they can lose one person and lose the game. So then, look at what they do. They grab the Giants, and now they move and force the transition of B-Step. This is the stuff that Superstars used to never do.
I know.
Ever. And now they have but now they're backing out. But that's the kind of stuff. They would let them move to the opposite side of the map. They would let their opponents control them, and suddenly it looks like Superstars is the one who's going to be trying to do the controlling.
Goku keeps eyes on all of B-Step. Medivh, they also have Medivh to do that too, so it's really important that they keep an eye on if anybody's going to try to backdoor.
B-Step doesn't want to start this boss. They don't want Superstars to start the boss either. Superstars has too much boss control. They have Leyline, they have Mosh, they have Void, they have Gust. There's no way that this is won. Actually, that's the win condition for Superstars. Superstars should start the boss almost as soon as possible. There's no way they lose that to their opponents, except for Repulsion, I don't know, Twilight Dream, Apocalypse. There's a lot of big plays, but the boss should be the best way to bait B-Step to a full fight, and then reasonably have a chance to win it, to where the shots aren't going to be traded. Because the shots are traded, they lose the game if you're Superstars. So your core is too weak.
Superstars shown in mid. B-Step see it, 2 temples, activating in 30 seconds. Do they head to the boss now?
It's too late. If they want to move to the boss, it's going to be too late now. So it's an option for Superstars that isn't for B-Step. B-Step wants to look for the trade. We'll see. Vision still controlled for B-Step for now. Nightmare scouting out in the owl form. Look at Zeratul. Goku's flanking. He's patient. Oh, he's going. K1 Pro already. That's going to be the Gus. Void into the wall. There's going to be 3 people into the Void. Laser's going to be to remove Gilly. This is a tough one.
Posty, though, has to barrel roll out of Apocalypse, so it buys some time positionally, but that's 2 people who have been caught in Mosh Pit. Ball steps down. Twilight Dream hits Leyline Seal from the side. Superstars have already lost Posty. They need to take somebody down right here, right now, and it looks like it could be iDream. They take down iDream. Force the Quill keeps Iacona alive.
And the portal out! Medivh with that reabsorption keeps him alive, but both the shots are up now. 47 seconds on the false at 50 there for Valera. Everybody's health pool on Superstars a little bit low, but keep in mind, they do have the Medivh. Nowhere is going to be a well. Completely out of sight for both these teams. Cap looking to be able to get the zone. These shots do not win the game yet, but it is pretty darn close if all go over to B-Step.
But there's no range damage really for Superstars other than Medivh. They don't have their fall stat, and B-Step still has Tychus and Li Ming, which is so scary.
But they have Ancestral. That's a main selling point. It's the fact that they still have their burst support. They move in for it. Look at the flank coming out from Goku. He needs to get good follow-up. McIntyre, it looks like it's going to be the focus for now. There's going to be the blink on out by Goku. Saray goes in. Medivh is going to eat the shield. Goku needs to be able to get the heals up so he can go in. I honestly think it might be better just Ancestral Goku right now because you cannot risk this fight.
B-Step have only 1 keep left, and it's down to half health. Or sorry, Superstars. That's the case. B-Step move away knowing that they've taken a significant amount of the shots away from Superstars to start working on the keeps for B-Step. B-Step are the ones who have time. Superstars don't. B-Step are going to start to look at this bottom lane, knowing that the boss is a possibility for them to win the game. They're getting the Giants. They have, there's a top tempo still.
Saray is the one on the top shots. I thought for sure that might be, you know, threatening a boss. The fact that the Global's not up there, but in fact, it looks like B-Step's going to entertain the thought of a top battle to the death here and not question the boss play, you know, forcing the Medivh transfer. They're going to move in. Power Slide. Cleanse is going to be used. Cap eating a bit of damage. Giants pressuring on bottom, but those are not going to make anything happen for some time. All heroics available. Gilly, this is it.
This is it. Goku wants to make that perfect Void Prison happen. Nightmare could maybe do it with a Leyline Seal, but it comes down to those heroic abilities. Gust away. King Caffeine is the focus. Void Prison on the back too, and Leyline Seal, so those were over each other. Hellgate, Bolts, Diablo in, but that's a 3-man mosh pit.
The mosh pit, that's going to be on Diablo. He's got souls. Hosty ends up getting the Ancestral onto him, but Valera straight cuts the throw. He goes down. That is a 3-man power slide, but this is full retreat for Superstars. The bolt, the root, is the knockback.
Grenade!
Oh my goodness, and that is going to be it with 3 people dead. B-Step confidently walk their way into the core. I know I questioned the first time they did this, but I'm sold that this is the one where they can, in fact, do the 46% of damage onto the core. Very well done by B-Step, and just such back and forth game here.
That was an insane game coming out from both of the teams, but B-Step now with the momentum, winning the last game, winning this game on their map on Sky Temple, have to be feeling good going into game number 5. The Medivh play started out good for Superstars, but can they make the adjustments? Is Medivh what will help them win, knowing now that they've lost the last 2 games?
It's a tough question. I think it's not just on the Medivh. I think it's a little bit of the Medivh with the fact that the team picks other isolations. Like, isolation's awesome, but the problem is that you lose damage every time you commit to it. So whenever 3 heroes are all focused on utility, Void, Gust, and then having Leyline Seal, there was just never enough damage to be able to ever confirm a kill, and the CC wasn't stacked on a large enough group of people ever to be able to confirm that kill. Like, even Diablo surviving there at the very end. So I think it's a little Medivh, but I think it's a little bit of just the comps overall as well with the Medivh.
Well, we'll see what kind of adjustments they want to make. We're going to take a break. When we return, game number 5 between Superstars and B-Step.
Fall before the might of the king.
Varian Rin, father, warrior, king. After the desolation of the Second War, Varian returned home with his people and rebuilt the nation of Stormwind. Years later, a plot against the crown would take him away from his homeland. Awakening with no memory, he became the gladiator Logosh, and through many adventures, fought his way back to his kingdom and his son. Varian's ferocity was legendary, and he ultimately gave his life to secure Azeroth's future. Now, in the Nexus, he stands tall as a true hero of the storm. Varian is a versatile melee hero, but even more, he's our first multi-class hero, which means by selecting certain talents, he becomes either an ally-protecting warrior or a furious, well-armed assassin. Varian's trait, Heroic Strike, automatically empowers a basic attack to deal extra damage. Once used, each of his basic attacks lower Heroic Strike's cooldown by a small amount. Varian's first ability, Lion's Fang, unleashes a shockwave that slows and deals damage to enemies along a straight line. His parry ability nullifies incoming basic attacks from enemy heroes. It lasts for a short period and holds up to 2 charges. Like all warriors, Varian is known to charge fearlessly into battle. Upon activation, he rushes towards his enemy, slowing them and dealing damage. Varian has 3 different heroic options reflecting each of the warrior specializations in World of Warcraft. Each heroic has a